Hey, Dan Passarelli here. Well, if you've worked a job, you've probably heard some common phrases within your industry. Safety first. Carpenters will say, measure twice, cut once. Plumbers, water seeks its own level. Well, traders have some of these little idioms as well. And one of them that I was just thinking about today, for good reason, is buy them when you can, not when you have to. And what that phrase relates to is protected puts, to get some protection. So take a look at a chart of the S&P 500. This is a 6-month chart, and as you can see here, we had a pretty strong day. The S&P 500 closed up about 1.6% today, closed near its highs. And for what reason? There was not really any new news that came out. A little optimism, and boy, we love optimism. I'm about as optimistic of a person and positive as a person as it gets. But we have to be realistically positive, right? And so we're up near our 6-month high right now. We had a gap. The high yesterday was 398.69 and the low today was 399.03. So we did have a little bit of a gap, and gaps tend to get filled. And so what that means is eventually we would see a trade below today's low to trade below yesterday's high. So between that and the fact that the VIX closed at 1849, which is a fairly low level, if we just simply look at the implied volatility of the SPY, that's a reasonable proxy for the VIX. You can see that that is clearly at its 6-month low. And historically, what we've seen a lot lately over the past year or so is that when the VIX ends up at a low, we tend to see the market sort of reverse and head back lower. And if we use the 6-month chart as a gauge and we look at the market fundamentally, in that not very much has really changed over the past 6 months. In fact, earnings this past quarter have, by many metrics, been pretty underwhelming. There's a reasonable chance that the market could head back lower. And I'm not talking about a major crash, but, head back lower down to the 390, 385, possibly even 380 level. Do I want that to happen? No. But I did buy some protected puts today because this is a time when I can, when they're cheap by both volatility and delta standards. And I'm not waiting until the market has already fallen and the puts are expensive when you feel you have to buy them. Now, the thing about protective puts is I want to lose money on them. I hope I lose money on them. Just like with any insurance policy, if I buy insurance to insure my car or my life, I sure don't want to cash in on those insurance policies either. And if the market does end up taking off to the upside, that's great. I'll profit on the stocks that I own and the Spider ETF that I own, and I'd be okay losing money on those puts. But just in case, as a precaution, I did buy some long puts today, and I think it makes sense up at these levels. This is Dan Passarelli. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and as always, trade smart.